Good morning, good morning. I hit the go button before I was ready to go there as well. So sorry about that. I just got to clear a few things off my screen, so I've got my notes up in front of me. So another Monday morning. What's your goal for the week? Have you even set a goal for the week? Do you set goals for any period? Do you have a look at anything in terms of direction and where you want to go and what you want to achieve, whether that's weekly, monthly, annually, longer term than that? Well, this is James Foster and Careers Matter. Well, if you don't, maybe you should start thinking about setting goals now. Why? Well, why would you want to set goals? What's the benefit of setting goals? I've got a few I've listed here, and I'm going to come on to those in a minute. But just to sort of ask a few questions around that. When you're thinking about goals, and remember that my particular niche, if you like, is around careers. But when I talk to people about goal setting, I don't talk to them specifically about career goals, although career goals is where it leads to. I talk to them about what they want from their life, and I talk to them about where they feel they are in their life and where they feel they would like to get to, and what does that? How does that make them feel about where they are at the moment in comparison to where they would want to get to? So it's the sort of idea of creating almost, and I don't do vision boards or anything like that, but it's almost sort of like that vision board idea of here is where you're going to be, and here's where you are now, and here are the steps that you've got to take to get from here to there. That sort of thought and idea, and the idea of all of that is it creates a number of things for you that will help to take your life, give it direction, is what I'm trying to say there. So, and as I said, this is not just about careers. This is more than careers, but careers is a big part of it, because if you've got a goal, then that goal is going to be driven by your abilities to earn money, and about what you're going to be doing in order to achieve that particular goal, and that relates to career. Whether that's a career that you're working for somebody else, or whether you're creating your own business, or whether there's another model that you have in mind in terms of how you want to achieve money, and therefore finance what you want to get to. So, what are the benefits of goal setting? Why set goals at all? Why, what benefit will it give you? I've listed. I've got about 10 or 11 things that I've listed here. Some of them are a little bit are quite related, and maybe even could be considered the same thing. But I sort of brainstormed it myself this morning when I was thinking about it. So one of the first reasons is it gives you focus and clarity. So if you don't have goals set, if you don't know where you want your life to go, if you don't know what you want to achieve, then there is no focus. It's a fuzzy sort of a way forward. And as I've put it in the past, you tend to drift along. You tend to drift from one day to the next, from one week to the next, from one month to the next, without really knowing where you're going to go and how you're going to get there. There is no direction, and therefore there is no purpose, and that's perhaps the next two things that I've got here is direction and purpose. So in order to give yourself some direction in life, then you've got to have a destination in mind, and that's one of the prime purposes of setting a goal in the first place. It gives you a direction to go. It tells you, it gives you a, if you like, almost sequence of events that you have to go through to get to what you want to attain. So, for example, If you would like within the next 5 years to achieve financial independence, what are you going to need to do to get to financial independence? What does financial independence mean to you? Understanding what financial independence means says that gives you certain objectives that need to be attained within that time frame in order for you to get that financial independence. That may mean setting up a business and becoming financially independent by running your own business. It may mean by making an amount of money and having that money create you an income. It may mean a number of other things that you could be doing. It could be down to property investment or whatever. There's different ways of achieving financial independence, and by financial independence, I mean you're not relying on somebody giving you money for a job or something like that. You're creating your own financial income through some other mechanism. And if you have that as a goal, I want to get financially independent within 5 years, then you can determine how you're going to get there and what you're going to do to get there. If you don't set that as a goal, so there's nothing that tells you, you've got a feeling, yes, I wouldn't mind being financially independent, but you're not doing anything about it. There's no direction. There's nothing, you're actually not taking action. You're actually not doing anything that is going to get you to that financial independence, and you'll look at things drifting by, as a lot of. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of people about this. You can imagine at my age that I've had I've known a lot of people who have attained and achieved what they wanted to. Others have just drifted along and not really got where they wanted to. And that's really because, as much as, I'd like to be financially independent, they've not done it. They've not actioned it. And financial independence isn't the only goal. There are many others. But the point is to give you something that's clearly understandable and say, if your goal is to achieve that, then what have you got to do to get to that? How are you going to determine your own financial independence? How are you going to get there? So focus, direction, purpose. Why? This is the crux of the matter as well. And you'll know, if you've heard me speak before, I'm very keen on the subject of why. Why do you need financial independence? What is it going to achieve for you? Why is it something that you really want to do? And if you understand that, then that drives that purpose, and it gives you the energy and the momentum to go out and get it much more. And so the whole idea of goal setting isn't just about be financially independent in 5 years. It's about understanding a lot more about yourself in the process of doing that. And as I said, it creates a level of momentum. Once you know where you're going, and therefore the steps that you've got to take to get there, then you start actioning it. Then momentum starts. It's like you put your foot on the accelerator of the car, and it starts to move. And as it moves, it gradually gets faster and faster. Of course, you're putting more and more energy in. To get it there, you have to put the energy in. But once you've got that energy in there, the vehicle's got momentum, and it's moving forward. And it will continue to move forward. And you've created that momentum. And then things start happening for you. But if you don't put the energy in the first place, if you don't take the action, you don't put your foot on the accelerator, nothing happens. And if you don't take the handbrake off, nothing happens. You just sit there in a nice fancy car, going nowhere. Looking good perhaps, but not going anywhere. So the idea, so having a goal gives you focus and direction. It helps create momentum. It also helps you with your self-image. Now, what does self-image mean? What does it mean to different people? I think there's a lot of different things. Self-worth. There's all sorts of ideas that come from the idea of self-image, self-worth, self-belief. These sorts of things. It gives you something in your life that has purpose, which we mentioned earlier, and that helps you to believe perhaps in yourself and have a much stronger image of who you are and who you want to be. With financial independence, for example, can come the ability to act on behalf of others in a way that you've not been able to do before. It might help you to become more influential in certain areas. You may have other goals in your life which are not just about financial independence. Maybe they're political goals. Maybe they are I don't know the word, but maybe they are goals for you to be involved with helping people and seeing their lives improve, and so that you can have an influence and an impact upon your own society, upon a group of people that's important to you, whatever it is. There's this that comes into it. It also triggers new behaviours. So you once you've started down a path, then you become that path to some extent. You're all about the end result, all about how you're going to get there. And as I mentioned, there's a lot more than just the financial independence in this. But once you start down that path, though, that triggers a certain set of behaviours, and it means that you have to do things in a different way, and it means that you actually will look at certain aspects of your life in a different way, and it's just cause and effect. This is, and you will end up behaving in a completely different way, which will be beneficial to you and to those around you, because a lot of people that just drift through life, their behaviour is drift as well. What they do, how they behave, how they go about things is just, it doesn't have the same purpose. It doesn't have the same focus. It doesn't have the same attention to detail, and they become obsessed with other things, shall we say, that you could regard as trivia. That doesn't mean to say that everything that so if you want to do things and have some time for yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's all your life is about, then it becomes trivial. So it triggers behaviour, it triggers belief in an image of yourself, it creates momentum. You know what you want, and that's a big thing. And that all comes out. You know what you want. You are. You've got that focus. You've got that drive. You know what you want. You're a certain person. You're certain about things, and that gives you a much more. What's the word? It projects an image of you as well, and it helps you to have much more clarity in your decision making, and from that you get, from all of this, you'll get a certain satisfaction, personal satisfaction, and you'll get motivation, and it leaves you in control, or you feel you are in control. You're much more in control. You're as in control as you can be, because every one of us is subject to some external whatever's going to come along. This year's a classic case. Nobody expected to spend most of this year locked down and having our lives controlled for us because of some virus. Whatever your view on that situation, nobody expected it. We don't have control over that sort of thing, but we have control about what we do about it. We have control about how we see the outcomes and how we go about managing our lives within that. So having that goal, having set goals, having focus, having direction, having momentum, motivation, it helps us to be in control of who we are, where we're going, and what we're going to do. And it helps us to helps us with those people that are around us. It helps us to help them. It helps us to be better to them, a better person for them, and it helps us. Some of what we do rubs off as well. So maybe those people around you get more focus, more attention, and start understanding the benefits of setting goals. And this all comes from just setting goals. There's a little bit more to it than that, of course. Set what you like. If you don't do anything about it, it's not going to achieve a great deal, is it? So if you set goals, if you give yourself direction, and you take the action that's necessary to get you there, that's the important thing. It is taking that action. Just setting goals, just having a plan. A plan never achieved anything. Action in the plan achieved something. So in my view, I think it's one of those things that, looking back on my life, it's something that maybe if somebody had spoken to me about this when I was a younger man, much younger, I could have done something about it. But would I have done anything about it? It's one of those things. It is a mindset thing, and I think that's something you have to work on yourself as well. Is getting that mindset that says this is the sort of person I want to be, and that I'm therefore going to do something about it. But if I'd have been when I was a younger man, much more goal oriented, and had set levels of attainment that I wanted to get to by a certain point of my life, and and plotted out how I was going to get there, then I did drift along through my life through quite a period of it, and it isn't until probably the last 20 years that I really became focused on what I wanted to attain. Before that, I wasn't really sure. I was just comfortable in a job. I'd been in the Royal Navy. I'd worked for telecommunications companies, and I'd done okay, but I sort of did get that impression of drifting along, where I wasn't really in control. I was taking jobs that were available rather than than focusing my career where I wanted it to go, and that sort of thing. Once I determined to take my own business, I become much more focused. Not everything worked out, but everything worked in a direction and has taken me to where I am today. Anyway, I hope that's given you some ideas as to the benefits of creating goals, and why you should seriously consider it in your life, because it will make a huge difference. It will have the biggest impact, a bigger impact than you can possibly imagine, once you actually start seriously focusing on the whole idea of goal setting. So this is James Foster, and Careers Matter.